Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, guys, wherever you are. Piotr here is LiteFinance Global YouTube channel, and we are going to we are about to discuss the next crypto project. We are going to discuss Zcash. Zcash is a cryptocurrency aimed at using cryptography to provide privacy for its users compared to other cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. That's the first line from the Wikipedia. Now, the thing is, lately we all know that the private cryptocurrencies are not the top, within the top popularity when it comes to the US SEC, right? For a quite long time, they were, in my opinion, even without that popularity, with some restrictions, they, in my opinion, they are still undervalued. So that's something we are going to discuss today. The development when it comes to the Zcash started in 2013. It was not exactly Zcash at the very beginning, zero cash. Then finally, in 2016, if I'm not mistaken, Zcash appeared finally, and that's when the history of the Zcash started. It's based on the Bitcoin's code base, and the fixed total supply is same as of the Bitcoin, 21 million. So let's have a look. Let's check the chart. Let's check the latest developments. Let's have a look what we have and what kind of the future the Zcash might have. Of course, the fundamental stuff is a private currency, right? So all the central bankers, all those guys who are monitoring the market, all those authorities, well, we all know that the privacy it's not what they are looking for, but well, that's something we are not going to discuss here. But that's what we have to remember where we are going to talk about the advantages, disadvantages when it comes to the Zcash. Based on the monthly chart, we've seen lately, because of the whole crypto market sentiment, we've seen the nice upside break. What we have over the course of the last week is SEC being out again and talking that some US companies are using cryptos to use for money laundering, right? So US Treasury to charge several financial institutions for money laundering using cryptocurrencies. That's what caused the pullback over the course of the weekend. So we were not that far away from 300, and based on the monthly chart, that's the huge resistance level, huge supply level. But right now we are pulling back. We are back below 220, and that's not the thing the bulls wanna see. Still, we have 2 weeks almost. We are in the middle of the month, so that's the monthly chart. Still, there is a chance to push prices higher. But if we are going to close below 220, 230, that could spur some further sell-off. How low can we go? Well, we might see eventually retest of 150. The breakout level, the bottom of this month's low. So that's how the things looks like when it comes to the monthly chart. Let's switch to the weekly chart, but before we are going to discuss a weekly chart, let's have a look and talk about some advantages. The confidentiality, that's the number one. That's well, the feature, one of the unique feature of the Zcash payment system. Well, number one. Number two, I still think that this privacy, that's something guys, we are losing over the course of what is going on lately. Still, I think that the privacy is advantage. Of course, we are not allowed, and there might cause some problems for the users. But again, I would call it as an advantage, right? The next one is the health of the network, right? And another one is that the user cannot be compromised, right? So it's not possible to compromise the user. So that's another one. The transactions are very, very fast. So it's very, very convenient to use it. So that's how I see the things compared to, for example, Bitcoin, when the time of the transaction is a little bit longer. Anyway, let's have a look what we have on the weekly chart. It's gonna be easier to try to check some important levels. As I mentioned, we were trying to fight with 300, 320, right, with the upper shadow is being created on the weekly chart. I'm very curious where we are going to get the close, but guys, I want you to focus on this level around 210, 200 psychological level, because when we were here before, that was usually spur some price action, and we are here again. So if we are going to get that close below, then the swing high creation on the weekly chart could be in place. Then it would be good to check where is the latest weakness based on the weekly chart, and I see this around level close to 130, 125, and if that's the case, we might see this type of the pullback first to 150 and then down towards 125 and 120 on the weekly chart. The bulls should try to work harder and to make the close above the previous week high to avoid the situation some kind of the swing high could be created, and that's how it looks for now. So deeper pullback from here could be in place. Again, 150, 125 as a very important levels. Of course, the psychological 100 level is very, very important. So let's switch lower. Let's switch to the daily chart. Monster sell-off from 300 down towards 180. So really more than 30% of the sell-off. But the lower shadow on the daily, the creation of the lower shadow on the daily chart, in my opinion, is not accidental. It's half mid of that very important zone, breakout zone between 150 and 180, so closer to 175 as a breakout. If we are going to be able to hold that zone based on this daily chart, so there is still light in the tunnel for the buyers to try to hold it and try to move higher. Of course, immediately we are going to have 200, 210 the levels we do have right now, and then 235 as a significant supply. So watch out very carefully the price action over the course of the next few days. As I mentioned, 235, 250 significant supply. The demand right now around 180 down towards 150, and then again 125 down towards 100. So that's how I see the things related to the Zcash. Going lower, taking into the consideration possible intraday price action. As you can see, we have very similar to what we discussed a second ago on a daily, and that's low. It's there's no accident. We were trying to hold that one. Of course, well, this type of the comments, especially over the weekend when the liquidity is a little bit lower from the US Treasury, in my opinion, on its own, it's some kind of the market manipulation. So if they are looking for manipulators, maybe they should look around and check the home, right? Anyway, doesn't look good right now. below 180, down towards 150, 125, 100, to the upside 235, 250. Be careful, guys, work out with your exposure, don't be trapped. It was my pleasure to prepare the update for you. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Goodbye.